Who are you going to call? Well, if you've got an insurance question or a complaint, it should be us. We'll tell you about the TDI helpline on this edition of the Texas Insurance Podcast. I'm Ben Gonzalez. Today we're talking with Scott Helmkamp from the TDI's Consumer Protection section about the Consumer Helpline and what it can do for you. If you find this information useful, please like and subscribe to the Texas Insurance Podcast and share it with your friends and family. Hey Scott, thanks for taking some time today to tell us about the helpline.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Ben.
Excellent. Well, I know that staff field all kinds of questions, but what's kind of the mission of the helpline? What are we trying to offer to the public?
Well, it's right there in the name of the service, the helpline. But obviously help could comprise a lot of different things, depending upon the person calling us. In general, though, with every single call, what we try to do is educate people about how insurance works, as well as their rights as consumers. What I've come to realize is that generally people don't have a lot of education formally about how insurance works. There's not life skills courses that happen in high school to teach somebody what they need to know about purchasing auto insurance, or when they have their first accident, how to get a claim started, what they can expect from their insurance company as a response once they file a claim, how to renew their policies, how to even shop for insurance effectively. These are things that many people don't have a lot of, like I said, formal education about. And whenever somebody calls us with an issue or a question, we want to try to address that as much as we can and as thoroughly as possible.
Yeah, even if you've been an insurance consumer for years and years, you don't file claims very often, so that the whole process can be daunting.
Some person's experience might be hearing what a family member went through or a friend, but maybe they've been lucky enough not to have a claim of their own, in which case, when they first have that major loss and they need to call their insurance company, oftentimes they are very apprehensive about how to go about proceeding with giving information, receiving documents, any of that kind of stuff. Those are all questions that we can help answer.
Excellent. Well, obviously there's a lot of people that are taking calls. How busy is the helpline? How many calls do y'all get?
We're pretty busy. On any given day, we can receive between 400 and 600 calls. That amounts to anywhere up to 2,400 a week. We average around 12,000 calls per month, and it's not uncommon at the end of a year for us to count back and see that we've answered as many as 125 to 140,000 calls in a given year.
Wow.
We also do answer questions via email. So that accounts for another 25 to 30,000 inquiries from consumers.
They come in written. So what's the one thing that you wish people knew when they picked up the phone to tell you?
Probably that we're not their insurance company.
Oh.
Now, to give you some context with that, insurance policies are required by law to have our phone number, usually as a page 2 insert to their coverage.
It's the helpline number?
The helpline number, correct, as well as the contact information in general for filing a complaint or contacting the Department of Insurance. That same document also has the insurance company's phone number as well. Many people see the first phone number listed and they're going to call it. And they'll call our office with questions about how to change their billing, or they need to add a car to their auto policy. They need to change some information about their homeowner's coverage. When we get those calls, we have to gently inform them that you've actually called the state government, the Texas Department of Insurance, and that we're not actually the department for your company that exists in Texas. We exist to serve all the Texas consumers.
And that 800 number has to be in all communications from the company to the consumer?
It has to be in the policies, absolutely.
The policy.
And there are other types of mandated notices that insurance company has to send their policyholder when a claim happens or when renewals come up for policies come up for renewal.
Sure.
So yes, those documents are going to have our phone number, and people call them thinking that they're talking to their insurance company. And
well, that's a happy accident. We can help them get to the right place.
Oh, absolutely. It's never a bad thing to call us. It just does so happen that we have a number of misdials that occur every day, and we'll find out which company they're trying to call, get them the right contact information, and then that way they're able to get in touch with their company for whatever business they have. But they also now understand that we exist as an organization, which is a nice benefit.
So it might be news to them at that point.
Yeah, sometimes people don't even know that we exist as a state agency, but we touch the lives of millions of Texas consumers every year.
So is that one of the more common types of call, or what is the most common type of call you get?
Well, when it comes to actual insurance-related questions, auto insurance, by far, is the most common call we get.
Is that after an accident or just questions?
In general, which makes sense because most Texans are going to have an automobile, which requires that you carry insurance on it. Not everybody may have a life insurance policy, but most people have cars. So that's definitely the most common call we get.
Gotcha. And there's all kinds of insurance questions, auto, home, life, and it can get pretty complicated. Is there a level of depth that you get to on the phone, or where you say, we're going to have to talk to someone else?
We will get as in-depth as you need to.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, there are types of insurance that are more complicated than others, health insurance being one of the most complicated, most likely. There's a lot of different ways people can get health insurance these days. Very common to get it from an employer. There's also the federal health marketplace where people can buy a policy for themselves or their family. You can go to an agent. You can go directly to a company. Many times we have Texans who are covered by an employer plan based out of state. So there's always a question with health insurance of whether or not we have jurisdiction.
Right.
Do we have authority over that plan? Does that plan have to follow Texas laws? Once we've established that, then we can get into a conversation about what's exactly happening with the health coverage. Are you dealing with a claim denial of a critical life saving service, like a surgery? Are you being denied coverage for a prescription medication you desperately need? Are there circumstances regarding your enrollment that's preventing you from seeing a doctor in the first place? It can get very, very deep.
Right. And if it's something like an ACA plan, like through healthcare.gov, do you send them to the other agencies that may have the authority over their plan?
There's definitely times where we have to send people to other agencies, both state or federal, which is another skill that the consumer helpline staff need to know. Sort of triaging the call. If it's not something that belongs to the Department of Insurance, who does it belong to? Let's get the person over to that organization. We get calls for Medicaid, Medicare supplement plans. We get a lot of calls for self-funded plans, which are regulated by the U.S. Department of Labor. So we have to be aware of where they're getting their coverage and who ultimately can help them.
Well, besides the helpline, another thing I know that Consumer Protection is involved in is taking kind of the formal complaints from consumers against their company, but those have to be in writing. Is there anything that the helpline can help them with that, or where's the dividing line between question and complaint?
Absolutely. So we do request that complaints come in writing.
Sure.
We have an online complaint portal that allows people to submit documents, add comments, even communicate with their assigned complaint specialist. But in the helpline, we're going to tell people how to get to that complaint portal, what kind of information we need in order to be able to review their complaint effectively, and answer questions about status checks on a complaint that's pending.
So on the phone, we can guide them kind of through the process, but they're still going to have to enter their stuff through our portal online, basically.
Yes, and to talk a little bit about that process,
Sure.
Once we've received the complaint from a consumer, one of the first things we're going to do is contact the insurance company or agent or adjuster, whether it's an individual or an organization. If it's somebody that we license and regulate, we're going to take the complaint and get it to that entity. They're called the respondent because they are required by law to respond to our complaints.
We've received this complaint. What are you doing to address it, basically?
Correct. Once we receive the company's response, we then are considered to have the whole story. And then we can start to review for compliance to see if the insurance company is following the state laws appropriately, following their policy obligations. In those instances where we find that a company is not following the laws or their policy, we can talk to them about how they can come into compliance and help their consumer out. But there's also the benefit that insurance companies like to respond to us with problem resolutions. Even if it's not technically something that is a violation of law, we still want consumers to file a complaint with us if they feel at any time they're being treated unfairly, or if they are getting a claim denial that they believe is inappropriate, whatever the circumstance. that
But
causes
the communication is not good. They're not hearing from their company, those kind of customer service things.
even customer service issues. We want to be able to help with those. And
Okay.
we'll take the complaint and we'll submit it to the company for their response. And we have seen many times where a company has voluntarily resolved an issue, even if they weren't breaking any laws or violating their policy.
Let's talk a little bit about the staff that works the phone lines. We're talking about all kinds of different insurance issues. What kind of training do they have to be experts on the phone?
It's thorough. It's comprehensive. We will answer questions about any line of insurance that's sold in Texas. Auto, home, life, and health, those are the major personal lines of insurance that people can carry. But we can also answer questions about commercial liability, general liability, professional liability, coverage that businesses need to obtain. A business is a consumer, just like an individual. They have insurance needs just like individuals. So we run the gamut. We'll answer a question about any type of insurance. That means we have to educate our helpline staff about the existing laws in the Texas Insurance Code, as well as the rules in the Administrative Code. Because on any given call, we don't know what it's going to be about. We have to be able to effectively use our resources to find the answer for that person. And not just find the answer, but communicate it to them in a way they can understand.
Is staff doing that by their knowledge base from the training they had? Or are they looking up stuff while they're talking to people? How does that work?
That certainly does happen, yes. We have a knowledge base that staff can access. That's an internal document that references a lot of the commonly used codes when it comes to how insurance works. Claim settlement time frames, renewal policy provisions, even required provisions that have to be in a policy. Sometimes people may not be aware of that. So when a question comes in, we're going to use that knowledge base to search for the answer. We also have to be very knowledgeable about the website, because the website has a lot of fantastic
much
information,
content, yeah.
so much content. We want to be able to direct consumers to helpful tips that the agency publishes, informational broadcasts like this podcast itself.
They can learn at their own pace by accessing those resources.
Yeah, just like I said earlier, many people don't understand who we are as an agency. Making sure they understand how to find our website, how it's organized, where they can find useful information, that all goes towards helping educate them about how insurance works and who we are as an agency.
And before we got started, we talked about, we have English and Spanish speakers on the phone line ready to take questions. What about people that may have other language needs?
We can certainly help those folks too.
Yeah.
Yes, we have access to translators that can help us translate conversations in pretty much any language. Most recently, we have received calls in Vietnamese, Arabic, Farsi, whatever language you speak. Yes, you can call us. We can get a translator online, and we can help you.
Okay, so what can the helpline not do? Where's that line where we have some kind of limitations?
Well, it is important to understand that as a regulatory office, we enforce the existing laws that are in the Texas Constitution and statutes. That means if a law is not on the books, we can't enforce it. Many times people want us to be able to help determine who's at fault in an accident, or whether a statement from another party that they're involved in an accident in, or maybe if it's a homeowner claim and they're dealing with a contractor, they want us to be able to say whether...
Can you weigh this evidence for me?
Yes. Is my roof repaired correctly? Unfortunately, we're not in the business of repairing roofs. We're not in the business of fixing cars. So we can't determine whether a vehicle is a total loss or whether it's repairable. We can't determine who's at fault in an accident. We can't determine whether a repair job on a home is adequate. We're not attorneys, so we can't give legal advice. Many people want us to be able to tell them, what should I do? We try to answer that question. Here's what you can do. It has to be your choice.
Right.
Whether you want to file a complaint, seek legal advice from an attorney,
try to
pursue a
communicate with the
lawsuit,
company.
Try to communicate with the company. And those are really the biggest wins, in my opinion, is when we can educate somebody about how insurance works and what their rights are, so they themselves can negotiate with their insurance company about the existing problem they have, or any potential issues they might encounter in the future.
So kind of empowering people is the ultimate goal there.
Absolutely. Empowerment is one of our biggest goals.
That's super. I think that's all I have. Anything else that you want to tell us about the helpline and working there?
Well, I take pride, very great pride, as a matter of fact, in being a part of that team, because it's important work that we do. As I stated earlier, many people don't have a great deal of knowledge about how insurance works, but it's a product that touches all of our lives. In one way, shape, or form, at some point we have to deal with insurance. And if you don't mind, I'd love to tell you a little anecdote. Once upon a time in the far distant past, when I was a phone agent, I was talking to a small business owner here in Texas. And he had a situation where his business coverage was not being renewed. And so we got into a conversation about, what sort of notice did the company give you? When did they provide it? Did they provide you any reasons why they wanted to drop your coverage? And as it turns out, the insurance company had given him very short notice. Now, by law, if an insurance company is going to non-renew your policy, they have to give you at least 30 to 60 days advance warning so that you can try to work with them to get your coverage renewed properly.
Is that the same for commercial and personal stuff?
It can depend policy to policy, which we can help you understand when you call us. But in this particular case, he had received too short of notice. I informed him exactly which statute protects his right to have that advance notice. And the statute, as a matter of fact, goes on to say, if a company has not provided you enough advance notice, they must renew your policy. With that statute in hand, he was able to go to his insurance company, inform them of their deficiency, and they renewed the policy because they realized they were in the wrong.
That's a great win.
He was able to maintain the coverage he needed to keep his business operational without having to go to the stress of shopping for a replacement policy or going through the process of filing a complaint with us.
Well, that's a lot of information we've given folks. So I guess what's the number that they want to call if they want to make a call to the helpline?
They can call us at 1-800-252-3439.
Excellent. Scott, thanks so much for taking some time to talk to us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Ben.
You bet. So now that you know how to get help with your insurance questions, watch this video to learn how to file a complaint with TDI. And again, if you've got insurance questions, call our helpline or visit our website. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next time.